Leadership isn't about smooth roads. It's about how you handle the potholes that shake the whole stinking ride. Hey guys, Dan Greer, Grit, Grease to Grace, Forge podcast coming at you today for your 5-minute power up. Actually, I was just talking about my book there for a second. Here's the thing. Today, we're going to be chatting all about how persistence is the grind. Now, you've got to have persistence whenever you're grinding out. That's what it means to grind. Grinding means that you have persistence. You keep going. There are days where I get in my work clothes because I got stuff I got to do around the house, right? And guess what happens? I get that stuff done around the house because those are things that have to be done as well. As making these podcasts, here's the reason why I look the way I do today if you're watching this one, all right? Filling potholes is never glamorous, right? It's not glamorous. I've actually filled potholes, and I'll be honest with you, the first time I did, I was a little bit embarrassed about what I was doing and where I was at. But the truth is that it's what keeps people driving. Whenever you do a really good job at it, it makes you feel good to look at what you've accomplished once it's done. It may not be glamorous in the moment, okay, but it's fun once you get through it. Leadership is often about small, unseen repairs that keep your team rolling forward. That's what you are. Like, whenever you're fixing the potholes in the road, that's what you're doing, is you are making sure that you're keeping your team on a smooth road so they can haul butt, so they can keep moving forward. It's not always about how fast you can go. Sometimes it's about how fast your team can go. And here's the other thing you got to remember. You have to fix it before you can grow it. If you want to go from a 2-lane road to a 4-lane road, it takes a lot of effort to get there. It takes a lot of effort to go from a dirt track to a paved road. It takes a lot of effort to pave your parking lot. Right? You got to go in, you got to build a base, you got to build a foundation, you got to pack it, you got to lay down some fabric, you got to put some more foundation on there, you got to pack it some more, and then you go lay asphalt on it or concrete or wherever you're going to lay. And then here's the thing is that if you ignore those potholes in the road, they become a crater that wrecks tires, it wrecks suspension, it wrecks progress, right? Those little things that you might be ignoring right now, those become craters, giant holes that eventually turn into a sinkhole. That sinks your entire ship, sinks your entire boat, sinks your entire truck, whatever you're driving, right? Leaders who address these problems early, they prevent disasters later. So what are you doing with your team? Are you filling those potholes? Or are you just letting them get bigger and bigger and bigger as they come up, right? Filling holes isn't a one-man job. It takes a whole crew. And that's what you got to get people to bring it up. Here's the thing. And here's what I tell my team all the time. I don't see everything. I don't do everything. I don't know everything. I'm not involved in the day-to-day as much as I used to be. So if you have a problem with something, you have to bring it to me so that I can help. If you don't bring it to me, I can't help. You don't call me, you don't text me, you don't say, hey, here's the problem. I can't say, hey, stay in your lane. I can't say that to the person who's getting out of their lane. I can't say, hey, we need to do this, right? I can't help you if you don't bring it to me. It's not just a one-person job to find the holes and fill them. It's everybody on the team's job, not only to find them, not just to point them out, hey, there's a hole here, right? But also start filling those holes. And so even if you're not in a leadership role right now and you're still listening to this, you can still mention that stuff and come up with solutions. Hey, I noticed this hole out there. I know we don't have any asphalt right now to fill that hole. What if I go pack it full of gravel? I know it's temporary. I'll keep an eye on it every day, every week for the next month, just until we make sure it's on the right page, okay? True leaders get out there and they get their hands dirty along with their team. They're not just pointing where to pour the asphalt. They're not just saying, hey, there's a hole here, fix this. They don't just go out and mark it with orange spray paint, right? They're out there actually helping them get it done. Now, you're not just busy patching blacktop. You're building a smoother path for others to follow. So whenever you go out and you start filling problems, you start finding issues, you start filling these potholes, what you're doing is you are not just like creating patches. You're not creating Band-Aids. You're making the road smoother and easier for everybody else. And it's your job as a leader to do that. Great leadership is about creating a road that lasts, not just covering up the cracks. Sometimes that means you got to bulldoze the whole thing and start again. Sometimes that means you got to grind it down to nothing and lay a whole new level on top of it because you can't get rid of all the potholes because there's too many. Sometimes it means changing the material you're using, going from asphalt to concrete, going from gravel to asphalt, going from dirt to gravel, right? There's no need to go make a concrete freeway for 2 cars to drive on a road. It just doesn't make sense, right? All right, guys, there's your 5 minutes. Get out there, get you some. We'll talk to you later.